Hello, everyone. Welcome to issue number 10 of the Two Brown Dudes comic podcast. I remember to said issue this time instead of episode. It's been a minute since we've been on. We've been on vacation, and then what else did you say?
Just a lot of things. A lot of video games came out.
Yeah, I played the shit out of Elden Ring.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just picked the wrong comics.
Maybe. Yeah, it was really hard to read the comics this time around.
Yeah, so we had Department of Truth,
Mm-hmm.
Seven Secrets,
Yeah.
which you said was good.
Yeah,
not
it was
great.
decent, yeah.
The Last God, which is long as hell.
Yeah. And then Descenders.
Descender.
Yeah.
So, which I just haven't made it around to.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can still put those in an episode.
Yeah, we'll still do those. It's just been hard to read them.
Yeah.
That Disney trip.
Yeah, that Disney trip
was
threw
fun as
everything
hell.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Horizon came out.
Yeah.
Elden Ring
came out.
There's a lot of video games.
I was gifted Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And I played it till like 4 a.m. that night after we got dinner.
Yeah.
Because I drank coffee at 8 p.m.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you texted Lacey. He was like, what was in the...
Yeah, I was like, was that decaf? She was like, no. I was like, oh, that explains everything.
We don't keep decaf in the house. I don't drink coffee, but
Yeah.
I know for a fact she doesn't.
But yeah, so, I mean, we'll get back on the schedule, but, you know, we figured since the Batman is coming out tomorrow,
Yes.
or it would have been yesterday for people who are listening because this comes out on Friday.
Yeah,
And
and there's
going-
some people that have seen it already.
Yeah. And we're going to the 7 o'clock showing on Thursday.
Cine Capri.
Cine Capri.
Yeah.
So we figured, hey, let's do a top 10 Batman graphic novel episode.
Yeah. And most people that are familiar with comics are going to know what the top 10 are.
Yeah.
But if you had to read comics and you wanted the perfect balance between superhero stuff and like mystery,
Yeah.
Batman is
Definitely.
king
100%.
for me personally.
I think the newest one we have on here is probably Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that
Yeah.
came out in 2011.
And the thing with Batman is these are his best like solo stories.
Yeah. Batman is really good solo. Like,
Yeah, but he's
has some
also
great stories.
excellent as he can go in any type of book, like
Yeah.
whether it's a Justice League book
Yeah,
or whatever,
exactly.
and it'll all be good. I don't think there's any terrible Batman stuff, honestly.
no, I haven't read anything that I've disliked of Batman.
Right. So it's just one of those things that, again, these are the solo ones. Some of these are like from the 80s. Some of these are from the early 2000s. But yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
So.
We got good stuff.
And also, we're kind of just playing this episode by ear. It's not
Yeah.
really like we're not completely planned out like we normally are. So
No,
it'll be
but
kind of fun.
I
We'll
think
see.
so.
Something
Yeah.
something new. you
Off
know?
the cuff.
Yeah. Is that like a British saying? Off the cuff?
I think so.
Oh.
Because, you
Interesting.
know, I don't know why. I don't know what.
Off the cuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we did a top 10, and you said we're going off of my list, right? My
Yeah, we'll
top
just go
10.
off yours because you were actually smart and did it on a separate piece of paper. I did it on my tablet, so I'm going to have to switch between things.
Yeah. So let's get started with, and a lot of these, I guess we could say that too. A lot of these have animated films.
Yeah, they
if
do.
If you don't want to read it, you can just watch them.
Yeah, they're all on.
The only one you wouldn't want to watch is Killing Joke.
Yeah, that one's pretty,
It's pretty fucking weird.
yeah, and
It doesn't.
it's dark.
Well, dark is fine,
Yeah.
but there's like a weird moment. in
Yeah, there
it doesn't
is.
make sense.
Yeah.
And it's not. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, let's get started. So at number 10, I have Gotham by Gaslight. Where did you have that?
Okay, I
ranked?
have that one. I believe that's also my number 10. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's the only one that's the same on our list.
Yeah. So, oh no, go ahead and do your thing.
My thing. Oh yeah, so it was published. I confused. It's published by DC Comics
Obviously.
in
yeah.
February of 1989.
1989.
Yeah, so it was a while ago.
I wasn't born yet.
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah, it's crazy because we're old as shit.
Yeah. I guess go ahead with the summary. Yes.
Did you say who it was written by?
Oh, I didn't. Brian Augustine, and the art was by Mike
Mignola.
Mignola.
Yeah.
Inkers P. Craig Russell, and the editor is Mark Walt.
Mark Walt.
Yeah.
Such a classic American name.
Yes.
Bro, we're so out of
Mark.
touch. Like, you forgot to tell the damn artist and author.
Yeah. It's
Just-
been a second.
Yeah, just bear with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we got it now. For some reason, I thought I had it after the summary, but yes, you're right. It's
Yeah.
before.
So this was a one-shot.
Yes.
Basically, it's like it's set in and I couldn't find a good summary for it. It's set in the 1889.
Yes.
Set in 1889, and
It's like a steampunk kind of vibe to it.
yeah, and so the bad guy is Jack the Ripper, and I won't tell you who he is.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's a twist you don't see coming at all. It's really well done.
Yeah.
But it starts out with Jack the Ripper kills a prostitute named Pamela Ivy.
Yes.
Who's Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
So that's already pretty cool. So they incorporate like older characters. Or no. How the hell would I say that? The characters that you know and love, and they make them into that era.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
they bring all the characters into that era.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah. And just like any Batman graphic novel, at the core of it, it is a detective story first.
Yes.
It's not...
Which is why I love the Batman novel so much. I just love anything detective.
They work for... Well, I wouldn't say they work for younger readers. A lot of these are going to get a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
But, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably not like 10 years old.
Yeah, probably not.
So, yeah. So these work. The artwork on this is... how would I describe that? It's very old school. I guess.
I would say
it's kind of
so.
muted.
Yeah. It feels like it matches the time it's in.
Yes.
Or the time that the comic takes place.
Absolutely. And it's obviously Bruce Wayne is wealthy. He's returned from a long, mysterious Europe trip. And he's a man with a mission, as he always is. And so this is like his first time as Batman in this particular story.
Yeah.
They're running it as he's just starting to get into it.
Yeah.
Who else is in here? You've got Catwoman makes an appearance.
Yeah, Catwoman's in there.
Obviously, Poison Ivy.
Yeah. Alfred's in there. Yeah, as always.
Commissioner Gordon is in there as well.
Yeah.
So all the characters that are really popular, really famous, they're in there.
Yeah.
So this one's pretty easy to pick up. And then if you like Jack the Ripper and the history behind that, this is perfect.
Yeah, because it has all that in there. I think it also brings in because before Gordon was commissioner, there was another commissioner. I think it brings in brings in that character as well. And I think he's the mayor in this story. And
the dialogue's really good too. It doesn't feel fake. It feels genuine to that time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
But essentially, there's not a whole lot to say because it's Batman versus Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
and
which I thought was interesting because I like how they took a criminal, like an actual killer, and brought him into a story like this. And he's squaring off with Batman. Yeah,
and he actually handles his own.
Yeah,
in a fight.
Because I remember when I was watching, I was like, Batman's gonna kick his ass. Like it's Jack the Ripper. Like we're not talking about some crazy, but then
in the movie and the comic, he holds his own.
Yeah,
Jack the Ripper.
It's pretty impressive
against Batman. So, and again, I like the stories where it's Batman's first kind of dive in.
Yeah,
because he gets his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, he's sloppy and he's not. I mean, he's still good, but it's all sloppy, so it's not Batman dominating.
Yeah, and so this one's pretty. It should be pretty cheap. You can get it just about anywhere, and it's under 115 pages.
Yeah, it's not very long.
So this is a good one. It was my number 10. It was your number 10. Is there anything we're missing to say about this?
I don't think so. I mean, it was a lot.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It is. I really like that time period and just the way the whole steampunk thing. It all comes together very well.
Yeah, and I believe they did this. Well, no, they did do this well in advance of Marvel's 1776 or whatever.
It came out before that.
So. But honestly, DC's always doing shit before.
Yeah,
Marvel,
yeah, they are.
So
yeah.
But yeah, that is again Batman: Gotham by Gaslight.
Yes, check it out.
Yeah,
and
you can watch the movie too. It's an animated film. And
it's all on.
It's got good voice actors. It's really well done. It's one of my favorite animated ones, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so next for me. My number 9 was Death in the Family. What was your number 9?
Okay, if I can figure out how my tablet works, there you go. Death in the Family for me was number 6.
Number 6. What was your number 9? Or do you want to just do it that way?
Yeah, we'll just do it that way.
Damn, you had it at 6?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense though. I think I think my list is very different from where a lot of people would put things.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Death in the Family is one of the... Let's just do our thing and then we'll start talking about it.
Yeah.
How's that?
Okay, yeah, that works. Again, by DC Comics, and it was like a run. So it started in August and it ended in November of 1988.
Yeah.
And it was written by Jim Starlin. The penciler was Jim Aparo. Inker Mike DiCarlo. Letterer John Costanza. Colorist Adrian Roy.
And the cover?
And
the first cover was, or all the cover art was by the dude that was on Gaslight.
Yeah.
Mike
Mike.
Mignola.
And then we got the editor was Dennis O'Neil.
Denise?
Yes.
So yeah, you said August to November 1988?
Yeah.
Right? So okay, so here it is. Batman 426 through 429.
Yes. So yeah, it was a run, and then later on they release, all of them in like a graphic novel kind of form.
Yeah.
All together, or I guess a trade.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit longer on this summary because, I mean, right off the very first cover, well, no, that's not true. But A Death in the Family is the death of Robin,
yes.
a Robin.
Yes.
And so, is that a spoiler? Yes, but it's also why you should read it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's some pretty cool history to it.
Yeah, which I just found out.
Yeah, so let me find... let's see. So the synopsis, like we said, it's obviously Robin's death, one of them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool things that we kind of need to discuss on it. So I'm gonna combine two synopses basically. So Jason Todd's, who was the Robin at the time, number 2, right?
Yes.
After Dick Grayson.
Yes.
Who was Nightwing at the time. Jason Todd's relationship with Batman turns sour as a result of his battles with criminals, which were almost suicidal. Batman decided to relieve Jason from his duties as Robin in order to allow him to mourn the death of his parents. Jason basically didn't take that well, and he goes to... Jason Todd travels to the Middle East to find his biological mother, but is kidnapped and tortured by the Joker.
Yes.
So I'm going to combine those two. So a lot of people would say, in 88, why would you kill off a main character?
Yeah.
So here's the history behind it. Let's see here. Jason Todd, the second, and this is a quote, Jason Todd, the second character to assume the Robin persona, was introduced in 1983 to replace Dick Grayson, who was unavailable for use at the time. Todd became unpopular among readers after 1986 as writers began to characterize him as rebellious and impulsive, which he is.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Editor Dennis O'Neil was considering having Todd revamped or written out of Batman when he recalled in 1982 a Saturday Night Live sketch in which Eddie Murphy encouraged viewers to call the show if they wanted him to boil a lobster on air. And that inspired him to orchestrate a similar stunt. DC set up a 900 number voting system to allow fans to decide Todd's fate. And the public were like, yeah, kill his ass.
Yeah. And then could you imagine voting yes and then seeing how he dies?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, the way he dies is very gruesome.
Yes. I would have been like, oh, damn.
It's a weapon.
Yes.
It's one weapon. And obviously the Joker is going to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
And this actually, so 2 of the top 10 have to do with Jason Todd.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so, like it said, he's very impulsive and rebellious.
Yeah.
But that's his character. He is quick to anger. He takes pleasure in beating the hell out of people.
Yeah. If you guys haven't read the older Batman stuff, you can kind of... I feel like he is a lot like Damian Wayne when Damian Wayne first becomes Robin.
Yeah.
He's very angry and like...
Damian's just kind of a little shit, though.
Yeah, that's
true.
You
know what I mean? Jason, he had his morals. He believed in justice, but he wanted to exact that justice to a much more severe...
Yeah, exactly.
Extent.
Yeah.
And I think it scared Batman.
Oh,
He didn't want him to go down that path.
Yeah.
You've seen Batman. He's seen a lot of people go down the wrong path, and
Exactly.
it typically starts like that. People have this idea, I'm going to do this to enact justice, and then that kind of snowballs and turns into something else.
Exactly. And Batman himself has also experienced it, so he knows, like, hey, this isn't something that you could come back from.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, and Batman, his character is imperfect.
Yeah. which he also says all the time.
Yeah, he just masks it really well, and a lot of things. Not necessarily on the go. He's very meticulous, but
there are multiple times where he even says, "I am not a good person." So.
No, I mean, no, homie. I love the memes where it's like, somebody does something like doesn't signal on turn, and then Batman comes around the corner and beats the crap out of it.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, those are amazing. So it's just one of those things that this is a very visceral comic. That is the right word.
Yes.
It is. It's one of those things that alters the course of history. We'll get back to it.
It does come back around, and we have
number 6 for me.
Yeah, for Eric's number 6.
Because his characters, or this saga rather, is not done. You know what I mean? What did you think of the artwork on it?
I enjoyed it. It felt, I think, especially at the time, it felt a little different.
Well, yeah, for the 80s. I mean, it's very bright.
For the 80s, yeah, it's very bright.
But there is blood.
Yeah, there's blood. I feel like it was actually pretty detailed, being an older comic.
Yes,
that was something that stuck out to me.
I mean, look at the panels where Joker does it, and that's. I mean, even with the bright colors, it's still kind of a terrifying sight.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. And it's not. I mean, what is this? This is not what I was looking for. But yeah, it is. I don't know, man. It's pretty dark, but
yes. And I believe that when this happens, Batman goes pretty close to just losing it.
Yeah. Exactly. He does not take it well.
No.
I mean, it's something that sticks with him.
Yeah, I mean, each Robin is like a son, which with one of them being his actual son.
Yeah.
So.
And this is something that stays with Batman.
With that being Damian Wayne.
Yeah, for the rest of his time as Batman. It's something he never ever gets over.
Yeah. So imagine that the people have called in and this is what they want, and it ends up your writers end up making it one of the best things that ever happened.
Yeah. It really is. It's I think it's one of the biggest hurdles and developments for just Batman himself.
Because again, Jason Todd is not the prototypical Robin. You know, for so long they had known Robin as being, that sidekick.
Yeah.
Who did what, Batman wanted.
Exactly.
This one not so much.
Yeah, this one didn't do that. He did not. Yeah, like you said, he had his own way of he had his own way of doing things that he wanted to do.
Right.
And Batman was like, "Yeah, you can't. No, that's not how it's done."
And then they have there is an animated movie, but it's an interactive movie, and I have not seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen it either.
So I don't know. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we on now? Number 8.
Yes. So what was your number 8?
I put Black Mirror.
Mine. Black Mirror was number 7 for me, so it's close.
Mm-hmm. This is probably one of the newer ones.
Yeah, and I recently read this. I think just I want to say probably 6 months ago.
It had to have been longer than that. You've had it for a while.
Yeah, but it was around the time we started this. So probably 6-7 months.
It came
ago.
out in 2011.
Yeah, because I started catching up on a bunch of stuff when we started this podcast.
Yeah.
But again, it's DC Comics. It was another run published from January to October of 2011. It was written by Scott Snyder, and the artwork was by Jock and Francesco Francavilla.
Francavillo.
Yeah. So.
It's 10 issues, right?
Yeah, 10 issues. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I guess I'll let you go with this. Go ahead with the summary.
And this was the final storyline before they rebooted.
Yeah,
for
before
the New 52,
exactly, for all the New 52 stuff.
Okay, so here's the plot that I have. The plot tells the continued adventures of Dick Grayson as Batman as Bruce Wayne continues his work for Batman Incorporated, which is like a separate entity.
Yeah.
Dick must battle against several villains, one of whom is selling various supervillain weapons and items in an underground black market. Also, James and Barbara Gordon must contend with the return of James Gordon Jr., whom they have excommunicated due to his continued psychopathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, they're Barbara's brother.
Yeah, I'll let you take over on this one. He's what's the word? Sadistic?
Yeah, he's very sadistic, and he ends up. Well, I don't want to spoil it, so. But yeah, Dick Grayson's in Batman, and then he started like Batman Incorporated. And this whole time, Grayson's kind of trying to figure out how he can be his own Batman.
Yeah,
because obviously this is Bruce's mantle that he's taking up.
Yeah, and there's definitely they have different views on how to do it.
Yeah, and like I feel like it's pretty cool because, like you said, you see Dick Grayson as Batman, but like Batman's supposed to. I feel like Nightwing, him as Nightwing doesn't really instill fear as much as Batman does.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see him take on that role because Batman is supposed to instill fear in his enemies and the criminals of Gotham. So it's cool to see him cope with that. And I want to. There are some twists in here that I don't want to ruin, so I'm not going to go through there. But I think I'm trying to remember because so the brother is pretty messed up in the head.
Yeah, he's a center.
Yeah,
a centerpiece, and I believe that one of these issues is worth a lot.
It's the one with the Joker with the Joker.
Batman number 880.
Yes, that one is worth a lot of money. I mean, I think I picked up the first run.
You have this one?
Because I wanted to collect them. I have the very first one,
with
just Batman on the cover, and that I think that alone was like in the 40s. I think it's not very much, but compared to what you would have paid for it.
Right, and then Jock did the cover.
Yeah. I mean, all the covers of this run are fantastic because they're all like black and white, and like the red colors really stick out.
Right.
It's really cool.
So you got Harvey Bullock, Oracle, who is Barbara.
Yes. And you got Jim Gordon.
Yeah, and then the Red Robin.
Yeah, and then you also got. You said
the Joker's in there too.
Yeah, Joker's in there.
I can't remember why 880 is. Okay, so in 2020, a 9.8 of 880 was $470.
Yeah.
So I mean that's probably like what, 600 now?
Yeah, something like that. It's a lot. I mean, there's when we went to that OFCON here.
Yeah.
Someone had it there for like I think 500, and it wasn't even slabbed. It was just bag and boarded, and they had it there for 500.
Right.
So it's that one's a lot. I think that's the only one that's like crazy expensive in that run. The other ones are pretty reasonable, but that one's the big one. Yeah,
and so this cover it's Batman's face made up of bats and the bat symbol, and it's white, I believe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. And Joker Venom makes an appearance in this one.
Yeah. And so it's very late in the original run of Detective Comics, when print runs had declined, and you have a scarce in-demand books. So that's what, you know what I mean?
Okay, so that's what caused it to kind of. Okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those, and it's such a good storyline. So it's probably one of those things.
But and there's also a lot of different stories going on at the same time in this one.
Yeah,
but they all tie together very well, like back to the main kind of, I guess, arc and James Gordon.
Yeah, and so Jock is like a really famous artist.
Yes, he's done a lot of DC stuff, especially out of Batman.
But I think this is his first thing, which is also why it's so much.
Because he's a pretty renowned artist now.
Yeah. Okay, so here's one that number 880 on eBay, 9.8, signed signed twice, once by Jock and Scott Snyder, and this person wants $2,000 for it.
Jeez. Oh, so it's a signed version. Oh man, yeah.
So Black Mirror is good. There's not a whole lot you can say. Again, it's another detective story.
Yeah.
Very much one that you should get.
Yeah.
Once we get into the top 5, those are the ones you need.
Yes.
Versus the ones that, hey, this would be really cool.
Yeah.
So.
All right, what do we got next?
Next, I have Dark Victory.
And that was your number
7.
Okay, I had that at 9.
9. Okay, so the thing with Dark Victory, before we get started, it is in fact a sequel.
Okay.
So it is a sequel to The Long Halloween.
Yes.
And so there's 4 of them. There's Long Halloween, Dark Victory, When in Rome, which is Catman's continuation, and then there's like a first one, but I can't remember which one it was. Anyway, go ahead.
I'll do my So again, these are all DC comics, but I'm gonna keep saying it anyways. Again, it was another run, limited series, November 1999 to December of 2000, 14 issues. It was written by Jep Loeb, and artist was Tim Sale. And Jep has done some other pretty good Batman stuff as well. We'll get into that later, but go ahead with the summary.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Fuck. Let's see here. Let me see.
It was hard to get a summary for this one.
Okay, so I can do that. So Batman Dark Victory takes place primarily 3 to 4 years into Batman's career, so he's still kind of new at it. As a vigilante crime fighter, the plot centers on a series of murders involving Gotham City police officers by a mysterious serial killer only known as the Hangman. Central to the storyline is a territory war between Two-Face and the Falcone mob, led by, I'm not going to say who it is because that's, it's got some of, it's like a retelling of Robin's origins and his adoption by Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty closely related to Batman Year One, which is also on this list.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot I can say about Dark Victory.
It does revisit, I feel like, some of the storylines.
Yeah.
I guess Batman's regrets.
Yes. So this is a sequel to Long Halloween, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest comics ever written. That being said, there's just not a lot I can say about it without absolutely ruining it, because you really need to read Long Halloween
before you can do that. Because if we mention some stuff in here, it'll give away
Long
Halloween, and you do not want Long Halloween spoiled.
Yeah.
But this is definitely something you should pick up. Especially if you read Long Halloween and you're wanting more.
Yeah, the art is flawless. Very different, the art styles.
Yeah.
Man, what would I even call those colors? The colors are bright, but they're very bright, but they also do an excellent job of making it feel dark, which the story is.
Yes.
But, I mean, you look at the way Tim Sale draws the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
His teeth are massive. It almost
it really, what's the word? Focuses on his smile.
Mm-hmm.
Joker smile, anyways.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is they somehow
made the Joker seem more creepy.
Yes.
With the way they drew him.
Yeah, and Batman is jacked.
Yes.
He draws Batman jacked. And there's lots of...
It's definitely a different style than what you normally see in Batman, I feel like.
There's some blood in here. There's...
I think... Isn't Robin in here? And he looks like super tiny. He looks like really small.
Yeah. But this just feels like it's an excellent detective story. This is all about detective work, and it's got to do with crime families.
Yeah. It really focuses on the crime families of Gotham.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get better at it once we get to
Long Halloween.
Long Halloween.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot I can say about it, but just read Long Halloween first and then go to this one.
Yes.
But yeah, there's Robin. He's tiny as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the picture I saw.
Yeah. So I like the way he draws Freeze too. His oxygen capsule thing is just huge.
Yeah. A lot of things are like, I feel like a lot of things of the villains and even the heroes are kind of amplified to point out certain things of their characters.
The artwork is definitely one of a kind, but it's not bad. It's actually,
I enjoyed it.
Phenomenal to me.
I thought
it's almost like, a lot of Brian Azzarello's stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I felt like the art would be a turnoff for me, especially when I kind of picked it up and skimmed through it a bit.
Yeah.
But I ended up enjoying it quite a bit. It does fit the story. The artwork does.
Yeah. So that was my number 7.
Okay.
It was your what? 6?
That was my number 9.
Oh, it was your number 9.
Yeah.
9.
I think, and it's not saying that it was a bad one. It was just there's so many others I liked so much more than it.
Right.
Because it was still very good. It's just my Long Halloween's higher up the list, but And I just think just because it's such a good comic itself, but
yeah, man, there's just not a whole lot we can give away. But yeah, I feel like the art definitely inspired a lot of artists. The one I think of is 100 Bullets with Brian Azzarello.
Oh yeah, I think that. I've read some of the 100 Bullets stuff.
Similar.
I would agree.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely iconic. It's definitely one to read after, again, for the 1,000th time you've done Long Halloween. So with that being said, let's move on. So at number 6, I've got Under the Red Hood.
Okay, I have it at Under the Red Hood. That one's actually number 3 for me.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that one's up there for me.
Yeah, I could see. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know that I could put it at 3. I really don't.
I think it's because
it's heavy on action though, for sure.
It's got a lot of action, but I just enjoy the story. I mean, we'll get into it here in a second. I'll do my thing.
Yeah.
So again, DC Comics is a run from February 2005 to April 2006. Written by Judd Winnick, and artists were Doug Mankey, Eric Battle, and Shane Davis.
Yeah.
And I think they also did various covers. Oh yeah, so the some of the covers were done by Jock. So
I have all of these.
Oh, you do? Like the all the issues.
Yeah, and I have 2 of them that are slabbed.
Nice.
So I think the...
Oh, yeah, that's right. You showed me.
Yeah, one of them that I have is like a 9.6. I could probably get it pressed and get a 9.8, but it's probably worth about 400, I think, last time I checked.
Yeah.
So at a 9.8, it'd probably be like 500.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to sit on it. I don't think I want to sell it. This is such an iconic moment. Yes. So remember earlier... Oh, fuck. I got to do the summary.
Yeah. We just want to get into it.
Yeah, let me see. This is going to be a spoiler. You don't necessarily have to read Death in the Family.
No, you don't, because I didn't when I read this.
Yeah, same. I started with this.
Yeah.
So the story is notable for bringing back long dead. Yes. Remember, when was Death in the Family? 89?
88, yes.
88, okay. 88. So, and then again, this came out in 20
years later, almost 20, yeah.
So the story was notable for bringing long-dead Batman supporting character Jason Todd back to life and reimagining him as a... Well, I already spoiled it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Basically, he comes back as the Red Hood.
Yes.
And...
I think most people know this storyline, honestly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to it. I guess we can just get into it. You know, that pretty much tells it. It's him coming back.
Yeah. And obviously, you don't know it's him at first. They discover later that, hey, it is not Grayson, Jason Todd.
Right.
And oh man, I think that's why I like it so much, because it's the way they bring that story back around, and it just brings back all of that. Because like I had read this first, but then I went back and read Death in the Family and came back and read this again, and the way they just bring everything back that made Death in the Family so good, it just made this one that much better. Like Batman's regrets, I mean, how it affected the Bat family at the time, and how it's still affecting the Bat family.
Yeah, I mean, this one sends waves, because Jason Todd, as the Red Hood, doesn't go away.
No.
He gets his own books.
Yeah, he ends up being a regular character.
Yeah, and Homie likes to shoot guns.
Yes.
Homie loves guns. He'll kill. He doesn't care.
Yeah, and
he will kill.
Yeah, I feel like he's fully embraced that, I guess, the character he was going to become.
Yeah.
Before Batman told him to before he died, essentially.
Yeah, and the way that Jason Todd reveals himself to Batman is really cool.
Yes.
And that's why I have those 2 that are slabbed. The debut of Red Hood,
and then the reveal.
Yeah, I have both of those slabbed.
Yeah, and the reveal, man, it hits. It's like, what the?
Yeah, and you've got some cool characters in here. Black Mask, who isn't really necessarily a big character. If you've played the video games, he is.
Yeah, he is in the video games, exactly.
But basically, he's like a crime lord, and the Red Hood, he still has his ideas of justice.
And they're still far from Batman's views of justice.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's gonna tear shit up.
Yeah, and he doesn't care anymore.
And
He's
Batman gets involved,
Yeah.
and but you've got the Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul. They're in there as well.
There. And yeah, Jason Todd's like, you know what? This is, I've got essentially it's way of, I guess Jason thought the way he's thinking is I got a second chance.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna do whatever I want, kind of thing. Like this is, I'm gonna get my revenge this time.
Yeah, this one's cool. I might go back and read this, and we can do like a full thing on it.
Yeah,
because this one's so cool.
It is. I like it.
Like we could do a spoiler episode of it.
Yes. I mean, and the animated movie was just as good.
Yeah, the animated movie is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
You could watch the animated movie and get away with it.
I think so because they do a very. I mean, I think in general they do a very good job of adapting.
Yeah, and I believe that was one of Mark Hamill's last ones as Joker. So you get the iconic laugh as he's killing Jason Todd.
Yes, because it does. Yeah, because it does flash back to the death of Jason.
So
Todd.
And the same with the book. So you don't necessarily need death in the family.
Yeah,
it's like a companion thing, and you might not like it because it's the '80s, but it's very visceral, and
it really
it's a history thing.
Yeah, and I like how it gets into how it affects everyone. Essentially,
the
death of this. I mean, it's really. I feel like it's really because especially in the Batman universe, it's one of the first deaths to ever happen, especially a major death.
Yeah. But the Red Hood essentially is the Red Hood taking Gotham into his own hands and fighting crime his way.
Yeah.
And the Batman has his way of doing things, and eventually they meet, and there's a clash there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you've got Batman and Bruce Wayne reacting to seeing him for the first time in about 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
So that right there alone, I can see how you put it number 3, but we've got a long way to go, and...
So what number was that for you? 6?
That was number 6. Yeah,
okay.
Number 6. And my number 5 is actually going to have parts in this.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like a lead up to Red Hood. But let's get into it. So number 5 for me was Batman Hush.
Okay, that was my number 2.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was my number 2. This is one of my favorites.
Well, I wonder what your number 1 is, but... let's get into it. Batman Hush.
Yeah, again, DC Comics, another run from October 2002 to October of 2003. Written by Jeff Loeb, penciled by Jim Lee, inked by Scott Williams, lettered by Richard Starkings, and colored by Alex Sinclair.
Yeah. So I also have, I don't have this one slowed, but I have the first, I'm pretty sure it's the first Hush appearance.
Yeah. I have the foil variant thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got the original one at the Norman, or no, the group on Facebook. They did a little thing, and I got it there.
Yeah. I got the foil one at the Norman, the OFCON thing.
Oh, yeah? Where is it?
It's in that thing
box
down there. The box down there.
So, yes, this is a great summary.
Yes.
Okay. So the story depicts a mysterious stalker called Hush, who seems intent on sabotaging Batman from afar, and it includes many guest appearances by Batman villains, as well as various members of the Batman family and Batman's close ally, Superman. That one's important.
Yes.
It also explores the romantic potential between Batman and Catwoman. This book, I could see number 2. This book is, or this run, rather, is damn near perfect.
Yes.
You've got Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Superman, Hush.
Yeah.
Who, can I say that character's name, or is that like a spoiler in it? Kind of.
But it's kind of a spoiler, but not really.
Not. There's like a lesser known. He's not a lesser known character, but he's a less cool character.
Yeah.
He's typically in your more detective stories versus your action ones like this.
I think you could say that.
It's the Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so the story begins with Batman rescuing a boy kidnapped by Killer Croc. When Catwoman steals the ransom money for the boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got Huntress, Alfred's in there. Obviously, it's got Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
this has and there's even Metropolis, which is where.
You got Lois Lane. Lois Lane makes an appearance. A lot of people show up to this.
Yeah, Harley, Joker.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson, Commissioner Gordon, Rachel. Bro, everybody's in this hoe.
Yeah.
Scarecrow.
There's a lot of people in here. It's
Yeah, and then so in this one kind of leads to this is cool because there's a hint that Jason Todd might still be alive.
Yes,
and it comes in the form of Clayface.
Yeah,
mimicking Jason Todd.
Yeah.
So if you read these like back to back, you're gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the timeline matches, right? Because this was 02 to 03.
Yeah, and the art in this is perfect. It's Jim Lee.
Yeah. Oh my god, the art was so good in here. Like I remember, I picked up the actual thing, the collection first, many years ago.
The graphic novel.
Yeah, the graphic novel, and it was one of the first things I read. Because I got out of comics for a while, and then when I met you, I got back into them.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first things I read. One of the first graphic novels I read in a really, really long time. And that just kind of set the tone for everything I read after that.
Yeah. And so Hush, the character is, when he debuts, obviously, why would I say this? Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's like a brand new character, which is actually kind of hard to do.
Yes, it is.
To make one stick like this, but his backstory is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He can go... He's brilliant.
Yes,
he really is smart,
yeah,
and he's
super smart.
Right there.
I mean, he's got
Bruce.
Batman on his ropes with his wits.
Yeah, and so even as you're reading, you think you have it figured out. It's one of those beautiful things where you don't know shit.
No,
basically, and Batman doesn't either.
Yeah, he doesn't. You're. It's. I mean, you're just as lost as
doesn't
Batman
Hush
is.
take like years to plan this?
Yes.
You think?
Yes, he does. He's been planning it for a very long time.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's one of Batman's biggest battles, honestly.
Yeah,
because he's just so. Hush is like outmaneuvering Batman at every turn.
Yeah,
and it's pretty cool to see, honestly. I mean, when you're reading it, it's probably frustrating because you're seeing Batman getting owned, especially in the.
I mean, that's kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah, especially in the intelligence department. But it's also really good to see the way they wrote it, and like the way it's done. Is done in a very believable way. It's nothing outrageous.
Right.
Like it could definitely happen. It's even to Batman.
Yeah. So it's damn good.
Yeah.
Well, I would tell you which one I have, but it tells you who Hush is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even tell you which issue it is.
Yeah.
But the cover is beautiful. It's got Batman on there.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy's got her, obviously, Ivy wrapped around him. Catwoman's there too. There's a cool scene or panels in there where Ivy actually takes control of Superman via her greenness,
her plant
whatever.
stuff. Yeah.
So it's a really cool story. It's very well balanced. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got your detective. It's got your heartbreak. It's got an amazing wow moment that goes with it. And it builds up.
And this is probably one of my favorite Batman lines ever. It's I think he's talking to Catwoman, and she's like, "How do you know Clark won't kill you or something instantly?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, deep down, Clark is a good person.
Yeah,
and deep down, I'm not."
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Clark's kind of a dummy though.
He's so stupid.
Superman.
A lot of the Justice League are actually pretty dumb.
Yeah. I think Bruce and Wonder Woman, they're not.
Yeah. The rest of them are kind of like,
Right. Next we have, where did you have Hush?
I had Hush as number 2.
That's right.
And I just closed year 1 like a dummy. Is that the next one we're doing?
Yes. So number 4 for me is year 1.
Okay. And that was, hold on, let me open it because I'm a genius. And somehow closed. I don't even know how that happened. Okay, there I go, over there. I had Batman Year 1 at number 8.
What?
Yes.
Well, that's just wrong, bro.
Well, that's where I had it, okay?
It's wrong.
I think now, considering I may have it put higher, but that's where it is. That's where I had it, so that's what I'm sticking with.
We're going to go see the movie tomorrow, and it's going to skyrocket up the list.
So it was DC Comics again. It was another run from February to May of 1987. Written by Frank Miller, artist. I don't know how to say his last name. David Mazzucchelli?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes. Letters. It was lettered by Todd Klein, colored by Richard Lewis, and edited by Dennis O'Neil.
This one's a good one.
Yes, it is.
What did you have it at? 8?
At number 8.
Huh.
Not to say it was bad.
Yeah, and there's also an animated movie on this one.
Yes, there is.
Came out in 2011. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good summary, too. The story recounts Batman's first year as a crime fighter, as well as exploring the life of recently transferred Gotham police detective James Gordon, eventually building towards their first encounter and their eventual alliance against Gotham's criminal world. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a really good summary.
So again, this is 1987. And here's something to know about Gotham. It's a corrupt place.
Yeah.
From the police departments to...
It goes to all levels.
Yeah.
All the way to the top.
Politics. It's but this is Bruce's first, time wearing the cowl. Yeah. And he gets his ass kicked.
Oh, yeah. Man, he get does he get messed up in this
Catwoman's in there, too. She beats his ass.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was kind of even, but it's like... But like later on, Batman, it's like, Batman and Catwoman, it's kind of no contest.
Right.
But yeah, early on.
Well, no, I think she could hold her own, but because he's not actually ever going to hurt her.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's a lot of adult themes in here.
Yes.
From
definitely for the more mature reader.
Yeah, the artwork is old, but I feel like it's aged really well.
Yes.
Selena Kyle, what would you call her? There's pimps involved.
Yeah. Yep, there are pimps involved, yes.
Yeah, but it's just the perfect Batman story. It's his origin. What am I trying to say here? He sees the corruption, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to handle it. He doesn't always handle it the best way. Oh, and by the way, he punches the shit out of Catwoman.
Yeah, he does.
And he's not wearing the cowl when he does that. He's just in street clothes.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. At one point, you see him, just how smart he is. At one point, he throws on makeup, so if he gets it identified, they're not going to find him.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's I love this story so much. There's not a whole lot to it necessarily. I feel like, yes, there's Batman his first year, but I feel like not even Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Jim Gordon, his first couple of days at GCPD is very corrupt, and he sees it right away. I feel like that's more of the storyline there, because he goes through a lot of shit. His family
Jim
gets
Gordon,
threatened. Yeah. And it shows Jim Gordon is not a good person either.
No.
At least when he first gets there.
Yeah.
But he has his idea of justice, and but okay, so I'm going to read a couple of panels here. It's Jim Gordon. He's fighting. I won't say who it is, but he is in the GCPD.
Yeah.
And I want you to listen to this writing. Okay, so here it goes. I don't crack his skull. I don't crush his larynx. I don't break his ribs or punch my hand through his chest. That implies these are all things that he can do. I do just enough to keep him out of the hospital. I toss his gun into the woods. It should be rusty by morning. I take his clothes off and leave him in his own cuffs by the side of the road. So it's got that hard-boiled, old-school writing to it.
Yeah.
Where it's a visceral scene, but the way he's thinking to himself, like he's just handling this guy. And at that point, he'd had enough, essentially.
Yeah, he was kind of over it at that point in time.
Yeah, so
he's like, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah, it's such a cool story. The whole pimp thing with Catwoman, she's not the pimp, but she beats the shit out of this pimp.
Yeah,
I think it's in the first couple of panels, and obviously it has the death of his parents is in there, and that's the cover of the first one. And I actually have that issue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had to have that one. It's not. I don't have it slabbed, and I probably shouldn't because it's not in the best condition. But I just wanted to have it. But such a good story. It's an easy read. That it's one of those that you don't put down.
Yeah.
So this one is actually perfect for newbies.
Yeah, it is.
People that like crime noir, because that's definitely what this is, especially on Gordon's end.
Oh yeah.
And lots of corruption. So
yes, it really explores how corrupt Gotham really is. Like it gets into that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up.
Yeah, and so it's going to be interesting to see because the Batman that comes out, well, some people have seen it today, but it comes out tomorrow. It's supposed to be based like year 2-ish, 2-ish.
So he's young, he's angry.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes mistakes.
Man, it's going to be so good.
Yeah. But, I mean, the scenes in this was 87, right?
Yes.
1987, this is, some of the panels in here are really good. I mean,
87.
Yeah, I mean, he's just beating the hell out of people.
Yeah. And it revolves a lot around Gordon and Batman.
Yeah,
so it's really cool
their initial relationship.
Yeah,
and stuff
it's
like
really
that.
cool how they explore that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a dude in this panel just doing cocaine, just a couple lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some things. This is a mature book.
Yes,
this is a mature book. I like it. I love it.
It really fits the corruption of Gotham and how Gotham is as a city, I feel like.
It shows Batman's training in his first couple of fights. Gordon gets his ass beat a lot.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne's first night out, because he doesn't go out in the cowl, and this is why he gets it, I think, but he gets stabbed by a prostitute.
Yes.
Talking in Spanish.
Yeah.
Is Gotham New York or Chicago? It's New York, right?
I think it's supposed to be a combination of both.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty much the nighttime of both cities, I think, is what it is combined.
Yeah, that would suck. But year 1, my number 4, and Kaushal has it incorrectly placed at number 8.
Yes.
So he's a dummy for sure. Now here's where people are going to disagree with me. Our next book, I have The Killing Joke.
Okay. At
number 3. Is this your number 1?
This is my number 1.
Yeah, I figured. You have a very valuable book.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe I got it. So we went to OFCOM back in September here in Norman, Oklahoma, and I always forget her name, but she was commissioning it for
someone else.
Someone else.
Her name's Jennifer Moser.
Yes. She was commissioning it for someone else. We had set a budget of. We set a certain budget when we walked in. We're like, we're not going to spend more than this much. And then I walk in, and probably like the fourth stand we look at is Jennifer's, and she has the first issue slabbed by the CGC at a 9.8. Yeah. And she was selling it, and I bought it instantly. I was like, oh my God, because it wasn't crazy expensive. I mean, it was still expensive, but it wasn't nearly as much as I thought it would be. Yeah. So I just went for it and got it.
And this is a one shot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Batman: The Killing Joke.
Yeah, let me.
Dude, the late '80s were cracked for.
Yeah,
Batman.
they had some good stuff come out for the Batman. That is not the one I wanted. I swear, I'm such a big brain. The Killing Joke. But yeah, this is my number 1. One of my favorite Batman stories. And it is a one shot by DC Comics, released March 1988. It's created by Alan Moore, Brian Bolland, John Higgins, written by Alan Moore, artist was Brian Bolland, and lettered by Richard Starkings, colored. The original was colored by John Higgins, and then the deluxe edition was colored by Brian Bolland, and then edited by Dennis O'Neil.
I didn't know there were 2 of those.
Yeah, I didn't either. Well, so the way the printings work apparently is the first printing is that color.
Yeah.
I have one here, and then each different printing of it has the letters are in different colors.
Gotcha. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically Joker's origin story. Let me start with that, and I just want to say how brilliant this is, because as far as the Red Hood.
Yes.
Remember when you first see Joker, it's a Red Hood.
Yeah.
And he's the one that supposedly killed him. It's beautiful writing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so created by Alan Moore. He did Swamp Thing. That's what he's famous for. Well, among other things, but and The Watchmen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which is also excellent. We'll have to do that one day. But it's their take on the Joker's source and psychology. The story became famous for its origin of the Joker as a tragic character, a family man, and failed comedian who suffered one bad day that finally drove him insane.
Yes.
And Moore said that he wanted to show the similarities and contrasts between Batman and the Joker.
I think they do a fantastic job of that.
Yeah. The main characters are obviously Batman, Joker, Batgirl.
Yeah, Batgirl's in there.
But yeah, no, this one we can't say a whole lot about. You just need to read this one because the twist changes everything.
Yeah, it changes the entire, I guess, fate of the Batman
right
storyline.
This is typically number 2 or number 1 ranked.
Yeah.
As far as Batman stories go.
Yeah, and it really gets into Joker as a villain and how good of a villain he is. And
yeah, they showcase that he doesn't necessarily have a rhyme or reason.
Yeah, he is a villain for villain's sake, essentially.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's good. You just need to read it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that can be said about it. Alan Moore is a genius.
Yes,
for sure. We can talk about the art. The art, I feel like it's aged really well.
I think it has, yeah. I
mean,
they haven't really updated the art at all since. I think they just have recolored.
No,
it.
I mean they wouldn't need to.
I mean that cover of him holding the cover is incredible.
So the origin of Joker is excellent in this, and this is the first time you really see that origin.
Yeah.
But he also does something, and that's the joke behind it.
Yeah.
Is the death. Well, the assumed death of a character.
Yes.
But I don't know that you necessarily feel bad for Joker, but you kind of, like it said, just one bad day.
Yeah.
That's
all it took, and he was created.
Yes. Well, he fell into something. It was also helped.
Yeah.
You know. But they make him just look really creepy. I mean, this panel right here where he's got his hands on his head, his eyes are red.
Yes.
He's smiling huge. His teeth are yellow. He's slobbering. Or it might be rain. I don't know. Just so iconic. If you read comics, you've probably already heard of what happens. But,
yes. It is it's very good. You need to read it.
Yeah.
It is dark. It's probably one of the darker ones, I would say.
Yeah, don't watch the movie though, because it's pretty weird.
Yeah, the movie gets weird, but the comic itself is pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. There are recolorings. The original is very bright.
Yes,
very, very, very bright, and the remakes are much more muted.
Yeah,
I mean that's almost neon in the original.
I have to say I prefer the neon, honestly.
Yeah, because of where they're at.
Yes.
When that happens.
Yes.
Very interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Especially, the original is way better.
Oh yeah.
To me.
100%.
But I'll probably not get my hand on that shit for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. But again, what you need to take away from that is A, it's Joker's origin.
Mm-hmm.
And B, something else happens in there that's insane.
Yes.
Which is almost unheard of. But anyway, next I've got The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes. So that's your number
2.
Okay, that was my number 5.
Oof. So Dark Knight Returns about 80% of the time is going to be number 1.
Yes. So many people won't agree with me on that one.
Yeah.
That was my number 5.
And this was a 3-issue thing, I think.
Oh my god. I did it again. I keep closing the wrong tabs. Yeah. How many issues did you say it was?
It should be well, there's more, but this original one.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Return, the collected.
Yeah, I think they did the animated, which was
3.
also, it was a 2-parted animated series.
Yeah, and those are great too.
Yeah. Again, DC Comics is a limited series. Published from February to June 1986. Man, all these are in the 90s or 80s. Sorry.
Yeah.
4 issues. It was written by Frank Miller, penciled by Frank Miller, inked by Klaus Janson, lettered by John Costanza, colored by Lynn Varley, and then edited by Dick Giordano and Dennis O'Neil.
Yeah. So here's the summary. I like this one too. It tells an alternative an alternate story of Bruce Wayne, who at 55 years old returns from retirement to fight crime and faces opposition from the Gotham City police force and the United States government. The story also features the return of classic foes such as Two-Face and the Joker, and culminates with a confrontation against Superman, who is now a pawn of the government.
Yes.
The very first thing that needs to be said about this is Batman and Superman finally fight.
Yeah, they do.
And
they duke it out.
And it doesn't end how you think it's going to end. So it's 4 issues, actually. I'm sorry. Yes. And there's some continuations of it. What are they called? And I think Dark Knight Strikes Again, and then Dark Knight 3, The Master Race.
Yeah.
Which is Azzarello, I believe. But anyway, it's a dystopian version of Gotham City in 86, and then Bruce Wayne's 55, and he's given up the mantle of Batman after the death of Jason Todd 10 years prior.
Yes.
So crime is running rampant, and there's a gang called the Mutants. And it's kind of cool because they try to make it seem like futuristic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they did at the time. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and I don't know. I love it. I think this is...
I enjoy it. I still like it. Despite it being my number 5, I still enjoyed this quite a bit.
Yeah, this is one of my...
It was one of the
favorites.
first...
Ronald Reagan is in here, too, by the way.
He is. He is in here. It was one of my first, I guess, graphic novels of Batman I read.
Mm-hmm. That's a good place to start.
So it was good. I think it's a great place to start for new people as well.
Yeah. So
especially if you've seen like the movies and things that have been out.
Right.
I think it's a good place to start.
Pennyworth is in his 80s.
Yeah.
Dude, that fight between Batman and Superman is so intense.
Yeah, it is. Just for that alone, it's worth reading.
Yeah. Gordon retires at the beginning. It's his 70th birthday. Harvey Dent, Two-Face, he's 50. Joker's 60.
I think, how old is, because Catwoman makes a appearance, doesn't she?
I think so. Oliver Queen is in there. He's 50.
She's in her early 50s.
Yeah. runs an escort business.
Runs an escort business, yes.
Oh, Catwoman.
So it's got a lot of characters in here. They've all I think probably Superman's the only one who hasn't looked like he's aged really.
Yeah, he's a little bit fatter though, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
I love this artwork. It is aged so well.
Yeah, it is. It has.
So well. Obviously, Batman needs some help fighting him, so he's got a big super suit.
Yeah.
And Batman, he's not necessarily fat, but he's big.
Yeah. I think of Ben Affleck's Batman. He's kind of like
it's more
bigger.
muscle.
Yeah, it's a lot of muscle.
His suit is very different. He's just strong.
Yes.
He's just very, very big.
Yeah.
You almost think Wolverine type.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Wolverine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But very, 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 very visceral. Joker is in there, and you think Joker's changed, and then bam, out of nowhere. You know what I mean? The cover is iconic. You see so many different comic books, so many different parodies that all do this cover right there. It's Batman. He's black. It's like a silhouette, and then there's a bolt of lightning behind it.
It's a really cool cover.
Yeah. But
this is a definite must read.
Yeah, whether you like comics or not, you should read this. Yeah. There's a lot in here. It gets a little wordy at times. It does like a news report thing.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
But it's definitely worth it. Just be patient with it. Why would I say be patient with it? You're gonna love the story.
Yeah, it's gonna pull you in. It's one of the better.
Yeah.
Better Batman.
Batman fights the mutants, and these mutants are strong as shit. And again, he's been retired for what?
He's old.
Yeah.
For about 10 or 15 years, I think.
Yeah. So, I have these two.
Okay.
I've got number 3 and 4.
Yeah, I remember.
And they're pretty thick. You can just get the graphic novel thing. And
that's what I have. Yeah, as a graphic novel version.
Yeah. This is perfect. Definitely read it. I don't want to say too much. But yeah, everybody's old. They're ready to be done with crime fighting. I think Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, he's missing an arm.
Yeah, he's missing his arm, yeah.
So, but yeah, there's kryptonite involved.
Yep.
And the fight between Batman and Superman does not go how a normal person would think.
No, it does not. I was very surprised at it.
Yeah, I mean, Batman's always a step ahead, but he was like 4 steps ahead here.
Yeah, this is like
there's an iconic line that I wish I could say.
Oh, I think I know which line you're talking about. But it just kind of ruined.
Where Batman just tells Superman straight up what he's thought of him the whole time, and for him to remember a certain thing. So anyway, that's my number 2. This is your number what?
This is my number 5.
5. And then so the last one before we get into the new Batman movie is this is a long ass episode, isn't it?
Yeah, we're at an hour.
Wow.
This is gonna be a longest episode.
Well, we wanted to save the Batman episode for Batman Day or whatever the hell, but this with the movie coming out and the reviews being great, and we hadn't read shit really. So.
Yeah, worked out.
Yeah, and then so my number 1 is The Long Halloween.
Yes, this is my number 4, so it still made my top 5.
Right,
so
right.
Don't come at me. But this one, it's DC Comics again, limited series, 13 issues.
That's important.
Does it say this thing? Do you have the? Oh, okay, here you go. It was published from 1996 to 1997.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the exact months on this.
Really, this is a 90s one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Seems like it. Yeah, it was originally published by DC Comics in 96 and 97.
Yeah, it's written and drawn by who?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I got distracted. It's written by Jeff Loeb. Art by Tim Sale, lettered by Comicraft and Richard Starkings. I'm assuming Comicraft did the later ones.
Company,
yeah, they did the later ones. Colored by Gregory Wright, and then edited by Archie Goodwin and Chuck Kim. Yeah. And
this one's sick.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Okay, so there's 13 issues. There's a reason for that. Oh, let me do the damn thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get into it.
Summary.
Taking place during Batman's early days of crime fighting, The Long Halloween tells the story of a mysterious killer named Holiday who murders people on holidays, 1 each month. Working with District Attorney Harvey Dent and Captain James Gordon, that's key there too.
Yeah.
Batman races against the calendar as he tries to discover who Holiday is before he claims his next victim each month, while attempting to stop the crime war between 2 of Gotham City's most powerful families, the Maronis and the Falcones. The novel also acted as a reintroduction to the DC universe for one of Batman's most elusive foes, Calendar Man, who knows the true identity of the Holiday Killer but refuses to share this with Batman. He instead riddles and gives Batman hints from his Arkham Asylum cell. The story also ties into the events that transform Harvey Dent into Batman's enemy, Two-Face. Enemies such as Scarecrow, the Joker, Mad Hatter, Poison Ivy, and the Riddler, among others, also make appearances. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
So I think this is better in my opinion. The art is phenomenal. Again, it's just like Dark Victory. It's the same art style. It's got Catwoman's iconic purple suit.
Yeah.
Harvey Dent's origin in here. So it starts Bruce. No, that's wrong. Batman, Harvey, and Gordon. Right, they trust each other. They're gonna change Gotham for the better. But this goes down right with Holiday, Calendar Man, you could say too. But the corruption in the city, because you remember the crime families, they have everybody in their back pocket.
Oh, yep.
Essentially,
everyone's paid off by them.
Yeah, nobody isn't like the only good people in Gotham are those 3.
Yeah.
Essentially, Catwoman is not really good or bad in my opinion. She's just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, this story is it's such a genius idea. 1 murder each month. Yep. They're all different. They're all different victims, and there's not really. Well, I won't say that, but there's not necessarily on set a rhyme or reason to them.
Yeah.
But it makes sense near the end. They do a beautiful job of like, okay, what, and then they tie it in beautiful.
Yes, the tie-in was really good.
So, and then the killer is like the last person you would ever expect. And the murder weapon is even crazier.
Yeah, it's
like
that's the one aspect of I feel like a lot of these runs of Batman is they always somehow make it to where it's something or someone you never could ever have thought of.
Yeah, and so that's such a a rare thing for comics, in my opinion. I mean, you had, in this time frame, you had Spider-Man. Okay, great. Captain America, a little bit more edgy, depending. As far as Marvel goes, they just weren't doing this. You know what I mean? So, it's just one of those things that it's going to age well, and it's going to continue to age well.
I think it has aged well, yes. Yeah. And they came out with the anniversary thing as well.
Yeah. And they also have an animated thing on this.
Yeah, it's
two-part. Yeah.
Which is all these animated shows are on HBO Max if you want to watch, or animated movies.
Yeah, some of them aren't, right? The newer ones, they're probably all are on there now. But,
I think it's still missing a few, but yeah.
Yeah. So this one, this was so successful they got 2 more runs. Basically, it's obviously Dark Victory was next, and then Catwoman When in Rome.
Yes.
So I can't say a whole lot because, again, and the reason we couldn't say anything about Dark Victory is they tie into each other beautifully.
Yeah, they do.
But you can kind of get the sense of the story. Again, like I said, there's corruption. There's 2 crime families at each other's throat. There's lots of backstabbing, framing. But yeah, I think the only thing we haven't covered was the artwork. I mean, we did in Dark Victory. It's very
similar to that.
Yeah,
the Joker's got big teeth and it's very similar art style.
Harvey Dent is huge. His eye is bulging. It's just perfect. So I mean, there's not much else to say. We just really don't want to ruin these.
Especially these top 5s because these are good.
Yeah, the other ones we went a little bit more in depth with. Like Red Hood. Okay, but here's the thing with Red Hood: if you know what's going to happen, you're going to love it more.
Yes,
you're more inclined to read it.
Yeah, it really is.
So that's why I did that.
That's what drew me into that.
Yeah. So these are our top 10, or this is my top 10.
Yeah.
So
we went through mine as well. So
yeah,
we just went in your order.
Yeah. You can timestamp all these, right?
Yeah, I'll timestamp them all.
Like which book is what or where?
Yeah, so we'll have timestamps for each thing, so you guys can. If you don't want to go through the whole list, you can be like, I want to know this one, and you can just click it. They'll take you there.
So, what else we got?
So now I guess we can talk a little bit about the movie,
right?
The Batman movie with Robert Pattinson as Batman, Chloe Kravitz, is that her name? Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis as Alfred.
Yes.
And then those are the big ones. I don't know the other 2. Oh, Colin Farrell is Penguin, right? Penguin, yeah.
So it's directed by Matt Reeves. He did Planet of the Apes movies, Cloverfield, and then the sound or the score and things like that, and the music is Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
He's got some Academy Awards. He won Best Music for the movie Up.
Oh, okay.
Disney.
Nice.
He did this. He has 2. Another one for Up, the score soundtrack, and then another one for Ratatouille. And he's also done like Zootopia, Inside Out.
So he's got some.
Yeah, Rogue One, and then The Incredibles, and then Planet of the Apes. So he's all over the place.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm pretty excited for the movie. Yeah, I think it takes place between his first 2 years. I feel like. Yeah,
it's supposed to be.
That's what it seems like. Very early Batman. He's angry. He's young. He's angry.
I love it.
I guess he's full of vengeance.
Yeah,
and he's out to get some people. And yeah, you're introduced to, some of his very first villains.
Yeah. I mean, his suit looks great. The
Batmobile looks.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bad review for it yet. Yeah. There's a guy I'm friends with that said it was. What the hell did he say? He was basically saying that it didn't feel like a superhero movie. Now, here's the thing. It's Batman. He's a detective first.
Yeah.
And that's what true fans want.
Exactly.
If you want to watch I might piss some people off, but if you want to watch like a watered down story that's like action and fun for the whole family, you can go watch a Marvel movie.
Exactly, because that's what they are.
But Batman has never been that.
Never been that.
No, I mean his goofy shows back in the day were, but
and I think making it not a superhero movie will bring even more people,
right?
Draw more people. I mean, that's how Nolan's worked.
Yeah,
it wasn't really a superhero, honestly. Well, the first 2 weren't.
Right. The only negative thing I've seen said about it is that it was really long, and it is 3 hours.
It is a long movie.
So we won't be getting out to like 10 something.
Yeah, but your boy has been trained by the Bollywood, so I'll be able to take it.
What does that mean?
Their movies are really long. So you know how all these American movies are getting so long?
Yeah.
Bollywood movies have always been that long. They've always been 2 to 3 hours. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like
that's
they did like Bollywood movies would have intermissions because they're so
that's
long.
So old school.
So
I love
they'd
that.
stop it for like 30 minutes.
Go
You go
take
use
a
the
piss.
restroom, get some more popcorn.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. So the Riddler's also in here.
Yes.
We said that, right?
Yeah, we did.
The thing about the Riddler is he is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
He's very smart.
But he has this thing where everything's a game to him. There's not necessarily...
No matter what it is.
So sometimes he has a rhyme and reason, but most of the time he's similar to Joker in that he likes to just test Batman.
Yeah.
To see how brilliant he is. It's like a cat and mouse thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. He likes to push Batman to his limits, much like Joker. Like I think Joker pushes him morally to his moral limits.
Yeah.
Riddler pushes him to like his I guess
intellectual
his intellectual limits.
Yeah. And then you've got the homie Penguin, who is typically in comics he's like would an overlord be the right?
Yeah, I think so.
Crime boss.
He's a
like
huge
big
crime boss.
Yeah. And he's typically overlooked as a character in my opinion, but he's typically very smart as well. He's not a dummy.
He's a very intelligent businessman.
Yeah, but it's all business.
Yeah. I think in terms of how Batman's enemies rival to him, I feel like Penguin will rival to Bruce Wayne more as a businessman,
right?
Than as Batman.
Yeah, their interactions would come more daytime, essentially. But Penguin's an interesting dude. There's a reason he's called the Penguin.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell, the makeup on that is pretty cool. It doesn't even look like Colin Farrell.
I didn't even realize.
I read somewhere that he went into a coffee shop and just straight up ordered as the Penguin.
That's fantastic.
So, what's his first name? It's Cobblepot. Is it Alfred Cobblepot? What the hell's Penguin's name?
I don't know. Because they always refer to him as Cobblepot. I don't remember his first name.
His real name is Oswald.
Oswald Cobblepot. Yeah. Don't see him.
Yeah. And
it's been a while since he's been in a big screen Batman movie, I think.
Yeah. Typically he's ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Like big long beak, short. He's always been very short.
Yeah, he's got that umbrella with him.
Yeah, short and fat. I don't know. I feel like Danny DeVito is probably the perfect Penguin.
Yeah, I think so.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
But the dude from what the hell is that show called? Gotham.
Yes,
he did a good job too.
Yeah, he was a pretty good Penguin.
But yeah, there's some lesser known characters in here, and I think it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I haven't read a bad review on it. Is it going to make as much money as No Way Home? Probably not.
No, but
you're not taking your kids to see this.
No.
So
Man, it's gonna be so good.
My expectations are pretty high for it, actually, especially for Robert Pattinson, because I know he's a good actor.
That boy can act.
Yeah, and I know a lot of normal people will be like, "Oh, Twilight, I've not seen that shit." But
I did, and was that written poor? Like it was bad.
Yeah,
it was written so.
But
horribly.
homie came back. That's
he
the
did.
thing.
He did a lot of stuff, good stuff after that.
Yeah, this is pretty much. It's not Zoe Kravitz's acting debut, but it's her first like big role.
So. Yeah.
And her dad is a famous guitarist, obviously. So, and then Colin Farrell, he's always solid. Who else? Oh, and then Circus. That fool don't miss.
Oh yeah, he's always good.
Yeah. So, and I have a feeling there's going to be some surprise characters, and things like that. It's definitely a murder mystery, which is what we just talked about it. So I mean, what are your expectations? High, or
they're
you just kind of
very
go,
high.
Yeah.
Mainly because just the trailer itself, the score, which I'm a big fan of, like good scores, is so good. The amount of acting talent is in there. When they announced Robert Pattinson, I was like,
a lot of people were skeptical.
A lot of people were skeptical, but I've seen his other work, and I was like, this is gonna be good.
Right off the bat, I was one of those people. I was like, dude, I think he's gonna kill it.
Yeah, I think so. I think he can do this. And then when they showed him as Bruce Wayne, like in one of the trailers, I was like, this is gonna be good.
I mean, the build isn't like Batman has all kinds of different builds in the
but I
comics,
think it follows the year 1, year 2 build. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you remember the animated series and or the
Yeah.
animated version and the comic, he's not very big.
I mean, we'll see him. He might be bigger than we think.
Yeah, he might.
We've
he
only
might end
seen
up
a
being
couple
bigger.
of frames of it.
Yeah.
So,
but he's definitely not the jacked up Batman that. I mean, I feel like he's more of a. He probably would resemble Christian Bale in terms of build.
Yeah,
maybe a little
Christian
smaller.
didn't have the build for it.
Yeah, he didn't.
I mean, he was jacked, but not. You know what I mean? I feel like Affleck had the perfect build.
Yeah, he had the perfect build for it.
So it's but like I said, he can have any size Batman.
Yeah.
Do you think that they do origin story? Like where his parents die?
They might not.
I feel like they need to.
Yeah.
I know we've seen it.
I think if they do, it'll be done in a very different way. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it won't be the typical, they go to the opera.
Yeah.
The thing happens. I think it might be in a way where it's kind of pieced together throughout, like shown to the audience in pieces.
Yeah, that would be
through like various different encounters that he has.
Yeah, I mean, that's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Tomorrow's 7:00.
Tomorrow's a big day for me. Find out. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I 3 hours. You got 3 hours to make a masterpiece, and
Yeah.
from what I've seen, there's not been any like review bombs.
Yeah, I haven't seen any either.
But the guy that said that earlier was like, he was like, well, the other people in the theater thought it was just okay too. And I don't know. It's one of those things like we're so accustomed to Marvel movies.
Yeah.
That style.
It's very different.
Yeah, something so dark.
Because people still see him as a superhero. But I think if you go in with the intention of it not being a superhero thing, it'll be very, very good.
Yeah, I mean,
because like you said, Batman's a detective first.
Yeah,
he always has.
The world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
So, he can kick some ass, but that kind of story is very A to B.
Yeah,
and that's not what you want in anything Batman. And now, if Batman's like Justice League shit or Suicide Squad shit, you want him to beat some ass.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
but his own movies, his own stuff.
Yeah. For sure. Hopefully this will be like Oscar worthy, I think. Because there hasn't been a whole lot, right?
No.
Maybe DC's like, fuck it, go for it.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm excited. I'm very excited for this movie.
What are we at? Are we at 2 hours?
Hour and 26 minutes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's
enough for people to pay attention.
Yeah, it's a good length. Our longest episode yet.
So yeah, I think it's time to wrap. I think it was solid. We gave you basically homework for like a year.
Yeah, You had to read. I read these over several years. I think we gave some pretty good. I think we had a good list.
Yeah, our top 5 you can't miss.
Yeah,
Hush, Long Halloween, Year One, Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke.
Yeah, those are all good.
Under the Red Hood, you could probably sneak in there too.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. You can catch us Fridays at 8 p.m. on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. 8 p.m., sorry. No, 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Anywhere there's a podcast, we'll be there. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at 2B Dudes Comics. We post quite a bit, actually. We keep up with the Instagram.
But we have lives too, damn it.
Yeah, so exactly. We also have lives, but I think we do a pretty good job of posting regularly in there.
Yeah.
But hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. We'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Bye.